Silver Star in this weekend's BTRDA finale would see a number of regulars here to battle for those final championship points. And it would be an early lead for Alan McDowell and Gavin Hesseltine. The good result this weekend could get them a Silver Star podium for 2018. Another crew on the hunt for a podium were Andy Davison and Tom Murphy. They make a good start to the event as well, with second behind McDowell. Only 3 seconds between them at this stage. It wouldn't be a championship position that Baz Jordan and Paul Wakely were hunting though, but they do have a good overall position this weekend to try and net. For now, the pair round out the podium places with third. Damien Prats and Johnny Evans make a good start to the event to end the morning with second in B12, as well of course as lying in fourth on the overall leaderboard, just a single second behind Jordan. It was up to 1400 crew Chris Powell and Jim Lewis to sneak their way into the Silver Star leaderboard, ending the morning with 5th place overall, and of course, with that result leading the 1400 class at this stage. Meanwhile, it will be a strong start for Bob Vardy and Keaton Williams, leading the way in the B10 class and of course in the lead of the R2 Cup as well this weekend. Just behind Vardy and Williams on the overall and on the class results were Tony Simpson and Ian Bevan, second in B10 as well with that so far. Steve Black and Paul Morris would be the second of our 1400 crews to get themselves up into the top of the Silver Star category. And they wouldn't be the last either. They end the morning with second in the class and 8th place in the category. For Tim Phelps and Elwin Manuel, it will be 9th. The pair also taking third in the B12 class at this stage, with their closest rivals up ahead in the category. And rounding out the Silver Star top 10 would be Dave and Freddie Brick, third of our 1400 crews, and they'd of course be happy to be up inside the top of the Silver Star crews as well. In some of those places outside of the top 10 leaderboard then, it will be a second in B11 for Simon Tuckman and Sean Hughes, ending the morning with 11th place overall as well. A couple of positions back on the overall results were James Giddings and Sean Cunniff, leaders of the N3 class at the midpoint in the rally and lying in 13th overall. Behind Giddings and Cunniff in both the class and overall positions were Matthew and Tim Tordoff, second in the class for them and lying just 8 seconds back from Giddings. And with the B11 class fight at the top of the results, it would be up to Jeff Phelps and Pete Wilson to take third place in that class going into the afternoon stages. Rounding out the N3 class were Neil Fulis and Steve Vary, third in that class at the midpoint in the rally, as well as 19th place overall. So with 2 stages complete, it's a new leader at the top of the results, and with plenty more stage miles to go and only a few seconds separating our top crews, anything can happen, and it usually does here in Yorkshire. On to the second half of the day then, and there'd be no change for Neil Fulis and Steve Vary in the N3 class. They still round out the podium places there in 18th overall. For Christian South and Paul Hudson, it would be third in B12 to end the event, gaining those positions in the afternoon stages after a bit of a charge. Frustratingly for Andy Davison and Tom Murphy, the podium place wasn't to be this weekend. They slipped their way down the results, salvaging a 13th place finish, but the result was still enough to bag them second place in the Silver Star for the season. For Simon Tuckman and Sean Hughes, it would be a second in B11 finish this weekend, and that would actually be the pair's first as well, and their last point-scoring round for the season. For Jeff Phelps and Pete Wilson, it would be the B11 class win though. Probably a little surprising to have that result at the end of the rally, but certainly and always a welcomed one. On we go to the top 10 then, and there'd be no change in that N3 class fight. Matthew and Tim Tordoff taking second place there, as well as rounding out the top 10 Silver Star competitors. And that, of course, means that it's the N3 class victory for James Giddings and Sean Cunniff, a result that secures them the class victory in the season overall too. The top of the B12 class wouldn't change at all through the afternoon. Tim Phelps and Elwin Manuel ending the event with second place in the class, 8th overall. Dave and Freddie Brick continue to round out our 1400 crews, slipping their way into the top of the Silver Star results, but the pair do move up to take 7th place at the end of the event. And just ahead of them on the overall and class results were Steve Black and Paul Morris. They remain in that 2nd place in the class to take 6th place overall. It's Tony Simpson and Ian Bevin taking 2nd in B10 this weekend and ending their season on a high, a great 5th place in the Silver Star. Our leading 1400 crew, Chris Powell and Jim Lewis, end the rally just outside the podium places with that remarkable result in the Silver Star leaderboard, taking 4th overall and of course with it, their class win. It will be a strong result for Baz Jordan and Paul Wakely, the season sponsors, taking the historic win in the Silver Star as well as rounding out the podium places in the category with 3rd. For Bob Vardy and Keaton Williams, it will be 2nd, the pair also taking the B10 class win and missing out on the podium places overall in the season as well, with 4th in Silver Star for 2018. But for this weekend, there was no doubting or indeed challenging that victory for Alan McDowell and Gavin Hesseltine. They take the number 1 place and get themselves enough points to take 3rd in the series this season as well. So confirmation then of the Silver Star results after a close and hard-fought day in the Yorkshire forests.
Oh, look at this.